first band that I was really into was the Beatles, and then all that top 40 radio. And then after that, when I was about 4th grade, I was living with my father in Montesano. And what was it? He had a record club, one of those Columbia House record clubs, and one of his friends, he was a bachelor, he was a fresh, he'd just recently gotten divorced, and he was a bachelor, so one of his bachelor friends told him to get one of those subscriptions, and he didn't even open them up. He didn't even open up half the records that came, and they were just sitting there, in the plastic still. And one day I opened them all up, and there was some great music, Finally I got to hear Black Sabbath, the harder stuff that they wouldn't have played in Aberdeen or on the radio in Montesano or Aberdeen, So I was just like, instantly a rock and roll fan, a harder rock and roll fan.
Do you think, thinking back to when you were a kid and every week, what you want to do when you grow up changes? Do you remember what you wanted to do before you got your first guitar?
Yeah. I wanted to be a stunt person. I wanted to be Evel Knievel first. I used to I would. I remember one time.
Иди нахуй.
Дорогие друзья, пока мы с вами играли в Тарисленды, диссиденты, ванскуманы и даже немножко...
And lit myself on fire and jumped off the roof and stuff like that. I would take all the bedding out and jump off the roof.
Ой, тут будут гореть новички на этих кнопочках. Тест на бота не пройден. А, Е, Д, С, С, Д, Д.
But at a really early age, I wanted to be a rock and roll star.
Если полностью наберешь вайп, отлично придумал, чтоб не набирали.
I got my first Beatles record. I wanted to play drums in a band. I wanted to have the adoration of John Lennon, but have the anonymity of Ringo Starr, I didn't want to be the front man. I just wanted to be back there, but be a rock and roll star.
Well, eventually that happened, though.
Ну что, неплохо?
I'd still rather be a rhythm guitar player. Or a drummer, but I just don't have a good rhythm. I'm terrible. I'm a really bad drummer, but I love to play drums. And I was in high school and junior high. Yeah, actually it started in grade school.
Я специально ее не бью, чтобы посмотреть, как работает микс. Мне самому интересно. И если кто-то, неопытный в прохождении данжа будет смотреть это, ему будет еще и полезно.
I would watch the kid in first chair, I would watch him figure out the piece, and then I would copy him.
Нет, тут обычно S додают.
But obviously being a songwriter, though,
Это лазерное шоу. Торнады. Что делают торнады?
I don't know. As long as I got the credit for it. If I wrote a song, I'd like to get the credit for it. Because all you have to do is look on the insert of an album and it says your name on it, But, no, at an early age, for a long time, I really did want to be someone in the background, a rhythm guitar player or a drummer. I didn't want all the limelight because even if you're not a songwriter, the lead singer always gets everything, They get all the attention and everything, So, and I still to this day would much prefer that, really.
Can you tell us about when you and Chris first met? Is it true it took a while for you to get him?
Yeah, for a long time. I knew him for at least 3 years before we started playing seriously in a band together. But we had side bands with Buzz and the Melvins, other members of the Melvins and friends of ours in that area. We got together and played in a few bands like the Stiff Woodies. We'd play at local jock kegs, We'd put Knox gel in our hair like GBH and go and play live music at these shows and at these parties, and it was great, We freaked everybody out. But everyone was so drunk that they didn't care about our appearance. They just wanted live music. Yeah, and get free beer.
So
I'm condoning drugs, aren't I? Sorry. Smoking, yeah, we smoke pot. It's so great. That is true. I remember seeing that in my high school locker gym. Alcohol is a drug too.
So what was it that finally made you? I mean, I guess we should Chris didn't want to be in a band, right?
I don't think he ever really had very many aspirations to be in a band, really. He just liked playing guitar. I knew he had a guitar for years. Dale Crover, the drummer for the Melvins, and I made a demo in like 85, late 85, and at my aunt's house on a 4-track. And I had the tape for about a year or so. And I was always trying to push it on my friends, you know, to try to get them into starting a band with me. And one day Chris, after probably hearing it a few times, just decided, hey, this is pretty good, you know. So finally, the hint worked, you know.
Was that just, I was asking Chris, I wasn't sure. Was that, did you play bass on that as well?
I played a little bit of bass on it, and Dale played bass on the other parts, some of the other songs.
That was Fecal Matter, right?
Yeah. That was my band, my imaginary band.
Remember the first time you played together? I mean, I guess just because.
I think it clicked in a way where just the fact that we were actually playing music, and I heard these songs with a full band for the first time. It was just so amazing, you know, to actually play. I mean, I'd heard these songs because they were recorded, but all the instruments were dubbed, you know. To play them live in a room, you know. It was amazing. It was like the most incredible thing I've ever done, and I'd been wanting to do it for years, you know. I mean, I was like 6 years overdue of trying to already having a guitar and wanting to play with it. I could never get anything past like some guy that plays drums, and he'd bring his drum set over to my house, and I'd start playing this raunchy music, and they'd leave, you know. Never get anyone to stay more than a day or a few hours.
Нравится, блядь, так нравится, что я, блядь, нахуй охуеваю.
So he was playing,
Это дроп, блядь, дроп.
physically played the same notes that were on the tape already. We basically just played the songs that were on the tape, on the Fecal Matter tape. So, I mean, he's added stuff. He's added his own style to the band now since we've started writing songs together. But initially, we were just playing those songs on the tape. Oh, the first song that we wrote together?
8 русов нравится. Типа они все михинают, как чего встать.
It could have been, yeah. Even at that time, when we first started writing songs, I would come up with the bass lines and everything. I would show everyone what to play, because I was still writing songs, you know, on my own time. So that was probably one of the first songs that I had written at that time, and we started to practice with as a band. Oh, sure.
Могу сейчас
Well,
почиститься? Нет, видимо, нет. Нет, слишком много.
Let's see, the very first
ХП,
one
блядь,
was
надо
a party.
опустить по ХП.
Well, sometimes, I mean, we considered a gig,
Всем похуй.
I don't know, if we played together in the house for a couple of hours, and if 2 people stopped by, we considered that a gig, you know, a show to us. I mean, that was good enough. We had an audience of 2 people, you know, locals who hated our guts. They thought it was terrible music, you know. But the first official show we actually played was at a party, and it was way out in the woods. I can't even remember what town it was. It was somewhere in between Montesano and Aberdeen. It was, you know, a typical kegger type of thing. It was it was pretty amazing. That was a fun night.
Тоже
I think
недовольный.
it was Halloween night. We were really drunk, and we had some fake Halloween blood, and we smeared it all over ourselves and played our 7 songs off the tape, and we alienated the entire crowd. The entire party moved into the kitchen and just left the band, just left us there in the front room playing our songs. Yeah, that was with Aaron Burkhart, yeah.
Пизда попу болит.
I really don't know. I really don't have a very good answer for that, other than it was a pop song. It was one of the only palatable songs that we had. You know, at the time we were writing stuff like Hairspray Queen. We had a lot of, I mean, even though there were a little bit of pop element in some of the songs, we thought that people would be able to swallow it easier. We'd get instant attention by that. You know, it was such a catchy song, and it was so repetitive that we thought that, you know, people would listen to it right away and remember it. And also, I think Bruce or John, I think it was John, suggested we record that song too. It was one of their favorite songs that we did.
Блядь. Нет, не успел. Видимо, похуй.
Yeah.
Давайте.
I guess that was the idea. I don't know.
Не расслаблялась.
Светозарные стрелы рассеют тьму, и хаос отступит.
Yeah,
Да
it was their
ебаная,
idea.
да
It
что
was almost
духов.
a surprise to us. They might have warned us. They might have told us that this is what they were going to do, but it was kind of a surprise.
Это, блядь, игра.
I mean, we were just so thrilled to actually put out a single that it wasn't until after only 1,000 were printed
Такое
that we
охуенное
started
чё
to complain about
получается.
it. You know, it was
Вообще
like, there's more
непонятно.
people who want to buy this thing. You know, why not sell more? You know,
Хотя бы.
it just didn't make any
Честно,
sense to us
когда
at the
такой
time.
сел,
I
прикурил,
mean, I understand
сидишь,
it now, but
тусишь.
still,
блядь,
I mean,
чего
if you're gonna put something out, you should. That's why we signed to a major label. There should be, you know, everyone should listen to it if they want to. You know.
Иди в пизду, Тухни,
I don't know, honestly.
тухни,
It
сука.
seemed like 2 years. It just seemed like forever.
Чё, блядь?
I think it was a bit longer than 8 months. I don't know. I think there.
Ну что они,
I think there are dates on the single, and there's a date on the album.
блядь, я должен идти на коричневый. Охуеть. Ебать-то. В общем, похуй. Да чё? Хуй знает, что, что-то падает. Я не могу на кнопку нажать, нахуй. Здесь я тоже, блядь, не нажимаю. Да иди в пизду.
Who was concerned with that?
Ёпта, нахуй.
Did you feel like
Не
you had to make a
успел.
self-pop record for them, or did you absolutely make the record you wanted to make, or
Мразь.
was there some sort of
Not really. I've always felt that there should have been an album before Bleach, because by the time that we recorded the songs off of Bleach, we were really into that kind of music. I mean, we don't regret it now. But at the time,
Она
we
вот
should have
зачем,
put out
блядь,
the
соло
Fecal Matter
гений?
tape, or at least
Вот
a lot of the
зачем
songs
она,
that were on
вот
Fecal
зачем?
Matter tape. We
Для
should have
какого
re-recorded them.
смысла эта хуета здесь?
Because that was just a period of our band. That was just part
в
of our
этом
progression.
смысл?
You know, we were really
Сдохнуть.
into
Вот
experimental
зачем оно
music,
надо,
the
ёбаная
whole
пизда
surfers kind of
ебаная,
music,
блядь.
you know. And,
Мустарка, кусок говна
there's
ебучий.
just,
Зачем
I
он
mean, that's always
здесь?
been the
Просто
case with us.
тупо
We always should
зачем?
have put out something a little bit before the last record, you know.
Ой,
But,
бля, это просто пиздец.
yeah. Most of the stuff on this list should have come out before Bleach, actually. But also, that we did feel a little bit of pressure, a little bit of intimidation by the whole Seattle scene, because everyone was so heavily into this retro 70s thing. And because we were on that label, I mean, there was an element of that there. You know, it was like, I mean, Jonathan had quite a few suggestions from what I can remember. You know, I mean, it wasn't like they demanded it. It wasn't like, you know, put a major label. I mean, I've heard some really scary major label stories. But there was a little bit of major label attitude going on with Sub Pop at the time. You know, I mean, I remember one time Jonathan suggested I change some lyrics in one of the songs and stuff like that. You know. And that was just kind of weird because it's supposed to be an independent label, you know. And you know what I mean? I mean, you should be able to do exactly what you want. I mean, but if we weren't so spineless, we would have done it. We would have done exactly what we wanted to do, you know.
So had you wanted to put some of the
I think at the time, yeah, we did write new songs for Bleach. There were a lot of songs that were just written within the 2 weeks or even the last week prior to recording. You know, I mean, at the time we had a time scheduled for the recording of the album, and at that time we only had maybe 6 songs. You know, and during the week prior to that, we wrote a whole bunch of songs. You know, and we just I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Да где, блядь, это... Сука. Сядь, блядь.
Yeah. No, I guess is what I'm trying to say is that we wrote so many songs in that week right before we recorded that we were excited about the new songs. We wanted to record them. But initially we wanted to just record the few new songs that we had and re-record most of the stuff that was on the Fecal Matter tape. And that would have been the album. It would have been a lot more like Insane Society.
Где, блядь, износ? Сука, у меня скиллы кончились, блядин. Поебать тебя в руку. Опа, охуенная игра, блядь. Настолько охуенная, что ты охуеваешь. Соло-гейм, настолько, блядь, приятно играть, когда у тебя скиллы кончились. Какая мразь это говно разработала и вывела. Просто пидор. Это конченый хуесос, блядь, которому... Да мне похуй.
Imagine being in Texas in July